You warmongers growing rich through the business opportunities offered by this status quo of perpetual war.
Outside the largest military trade fair ever held in Australia, not everyone is enthusiastic about this country's record levels of defence spending.
Killing people for war, for profit.
Inside the Indo-Pacific Sea Power Conference, however, it's a very different world, where discussion is focused on growing international threats and even the prospect of war.
We will all observe around the world today the incredible suffering and violations of international law that none of us expected to see in 2022.
At this year's International Maritime Exposition, the $100 billion topic of debate, Australia's plans for a future fleet of submarines under the AUKUS partnership.
Australia's acquisition of nuclear-powered submarines is historic. It does represent a substantial capability leap for the Royal Australian Navy and will allow Australia to become a far more capable partner in the Indo-Pacific region.
Vice Admiral Jonathan Mead is overseeing the massive project to harness British and American technology to develop nuclear-powered submarines that will replace Australia's ageing diesel-electric Collins-class boats in coming decades.
Let me be clear, the task ahead of us is very significant.
But Australia's decision last year to cancel a French project for new conventionally powered boats in favour of a nuclear option is causing alarm in sections of the Submariner community.
An urgent or a knee-jerk reaction to making this announcement with no thought actually given to it and what's required to achieve it.
Greg Jones and Tim Bass are representing a group of submarine veterans with a collective 500 years of service in the Royal Australian Navy. Now, for the first time, the group is speaking publicly on their grave concerns about Australia's AUKUS push and the looming capability gap before the new boats arrive.
The time it takes to get a capability from our diesel boat generations through to nuclear is not going to happen overnight. You're looking at 20, 30 years to get it done right without bypassing massive amounts of safety to get the job done.
The retired members of the Submarine Sea Training Group warn Australia must move more urgently on planned life-of-type extension upgrades for the 6 Collins-class boats. Significantly, they're also demanding work begin on a new interim capability, a so-called Son of Collins submarine based on Australia's existing Swedish design fleet.
The Son of Collins is important, extremely important, because we have in Australia everything we need now to be able to start building our own submarines here in Australia.
Back on the trade floor of the Sea Power Conference, the Swedish company which designed Australia's Collins class during the 1980s is eager to show off its latest submarine technology.
The competence we have now, the program we have running, the program we are looking at could be useful for Australia in both the upgrade and if they would like to have anything more. So I think we are ready to support Australia.
Saab Kockums insists it's had no discussions with Defence about a possible interim submarine option, but believes Sweden's A26 design could be scaled up for Australia's needs.
If they choose to do that, I think the recent experience we have with designing and producing the A26, a modular design, that could be of use.
At the top levels of defence, there's significant resistance to even consider examining an interim submarine capability. Senior officials believe the costs involved and the huge numbers of extra personnel needed for a new class of boat is beyond Australia's reach. But there's also an acknowledgement that there's simply no plan B if the AUKUS push for nuclear-powered submarines runs into trouble.
I remain very confident that the Collins-class submarine will remain a very capable submarine that will continue to meet Australia's needs until we see the nuclear-powered submarine.
Do you believe that the AUKUS concept, people inside defence are concerned about it as well?
Quietly, definitely. Officially, no, because they have lords and masters they have to say yes and no to. That's half of our problem. You put your head up in the Navy and you'll get it shot off.
Introducing an interim submarine, I think, would bring more challenges than it would capability. And it would seem inconceivable that a small navy such as ours could viably operate a transition of Collins to an interim to a nuclear.
For now, the retired submariners aren't giving up hope.
We can do something now because we've got everything we need to do it now and keep the Australian public happy not having nuclear submarines at their back door.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.